Hello all, and thank you for visiting the channel. We are MZ Automation, a specialized team dedicated to the design, implementation, and integration of communication protocols for embedded systems. Today, we will be discussing one of our most frequently asked questions. What is the difference between using our libraries under the open source GNU General Public License version 3, or GPL v3, versus using them under one of our commercial licenses? Following this distinction, we will then discuss the use cases, benefits, and drawbacks of both, as well as the elements recommended to consider when deciding between a GPL v3 and a commercial license. Let's get started. First, let's begin by defining our GPL v3 licensing option, a form of open source licensing. Open source licensing is a broad category of software licensing, where the GPL v3 is a subsection of this category with specific, strong copyleft license protections. According to GNU, an operating system with the goal of offering a Unix-compatible system of free software, the GNU GPL is a series of widely used free software licenses that guarantee end users the freedom to run, study, share, and modify the software. A general public license grants users the right to download and run the software, make changes to the software, redistribute the copies of the software, as well as modify and distribute copies of the software as new versions. One caveat to point out is that the GPL v3 does not generally require users to disclose modifications that are made and used entirely internally without distributing the covered software. However, the copyleft obligations become relevant when the software is distributed or conveyed to another party. For example, if an organization integrates our GPL v3 IEC 61850 library into its own application in a manner that creates a single covered work, and then distributes or sells copies of that application, the completed covered work must generally be licensed under GPL v3, and the corresponding source code must be made available to the recipients. This does not necessarily mean posting the source code publicly for everyone, but the recipients must receive or be able to obtain the corresponding source code and the rights granted by GPL v3. By contrast, MZ Automation's commercial license is an alternative proprietary license under which we grant customers defined rights to use and distribute the library outside the requirements of GPL v3. It allows customers to integrate the library into closed source products and distribute those products within the agreed license scope without being required by GPL v3 to disclose the corresponding source code. Commercial licensees normally involve a license fee and a written agreement defining the permitted products, entities, distribution rights, and other conditions of use. It is important to clarify that GPL v3 software may also be used commercially and may even be sold. The relevant distinction is therefore not simply commercial software versus open source software, but whether the user is willing and able to comply with GPL v3 or instead requires alternative commercial licensing terms that allow the resulting application to remain closed-sourced. Here at MZ Automation, we provide both open source and commercial licenses for our IEC 60870 and IEC 61850 libraries. We can do this because we own the original copyright to the source codes. Although the open source libraries do not generate profits for us, we believe that these GPLs create value for the community by granting access to these libraries for research and improvement purposes under GPL v3 requirements, whereas the commercial licensees eliminate these obligations and allow our customers to access a more customized and fully supported proprietary option for commercial applications. Throughout our 12 years of experience distributing both open source and commercial software, we have seen a wide variety of use cases for both options. Regarding the former, the most common organizations we have seen benefit from our open source libraries include universities, researchers, and hobbyist developers, testing and modifying the source code while also releasing their findings back to the greater community. The commercial license is typically more applicable to clients using the source code to develop products and conduct projects that require proprietary control over the customized source code and its distribution. Based on the discussion so far, Let's now go through the benefits and drawbacks of both the open-sourced and commercial license options, beginning with the GPL. Benefits of an open-source license include its initial cost-effectiveness and immediate access to the code, therefore reducing or even eliminating the need for monetary resources and time allocation for obtaining the source code. Its transparent source code also enables users to immediately examine, test, learn from, and modify the software according to their requirements. However, alongside these benefits, it is also crucial to consider the potential drawbacks of using software under GPL v3. As already mentioned, when a covered work is distributed, the GPL v3 generally requires the corresponding source code to be provided to the recipients under the same license. Therefore, organizations distributing products that they intend to keep proprietary must consider the potential disclosure of their own application source code and the resulting competitive and intellectual property risks. In addition, specific to MC Automation's GPLs, such libraries are provided without a contractual entitlement to professional support, maintenance, portal access, or commercially licensed features. Public open source releases may remain available, but commercial customers with active maintenance and support services receive the professional assistance, maintenance services, documentation, examples, and update access defined in their agreements. Opposite to the open source license option, commercial licensees with MC Automation allow customers to develop and distribute closed source applications within the agreed license scope. When accompanied by active maintenance and support services, customers also receive access to our support team, customer documentation, sample projects, portal resources, and maintained library releases. The customer's own application and permitted modifications may remain proprietary, subject to the terms of the applicable agreement. Of course, a commercial license also accompanies the drawbacks of the time and money it requires to purchase the license, as well as the potential restrictions of a license agreement. Based on this information regarding the pros and cons of a GPL v3 versus commercial license, there are multiple considerations that should be taken into account when deciding between the two. First, and perhaps most importantly, a risk analysis should be completed to determine whether a commercial or open source license is more applicable. Ask yourself, will you be distributing a commercial application that uses this source code? If so, can your organization afford to expose its proprietary intellectual property to the public and your competitors under the GPL v3 requirements? Lastly, do you expect to require support, contractual maintenance, customer documentation, portal resources, commercially licensed features, or timely access to maintain releases in order to efficiently use the source code? If your answers to these questions are yes, a commercial license is generally recommended in order to best execute your product or project goals. Thank you very much for joining us in this discussion. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at our email info@mz-automation.de. In addition, for more details on our products and services, visit us at www.mz-automation.de. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on our future videos.